Hi everyone, it is time. It is assembly day. I got my old dial indicators here. I just wanted to take a look at our differences on our valve sizes for you guys before we start putting these in. So obviously we got the factory heads right here. Got my dial indicators. So they're 0. They are. Now, let's take a look on that intake best I can. I have, see if I can learn how to read this, 1.744 or so on the intake. I just realized this is not even in the shot. Oh god, that's not so bad actually. I was like ready to pick that one up. Oh my god! But that one was fine. So, as you guys can see, we got valves and we got valves. So this one looks like it's a little bit bigger. Well, we say 1.744. This one is 1.806. I'm sure I could be off a little bit. So basically 1.8 on the intake. So we're a little bit bigger on the intakes. Let's look at the exhaust here. Let's pick any old valve, right? So the factory one looks to be about 2.06, almost a 1 there. So yeah, that's interesting. So just over 2 inches on the intake valve. On the other one, sorry, the first ones we started off were the exhaust valves. I apologize. Now for the intake on the new one, so just over 2 on the other one. This one is coming in at 2. Yeah, I think that's 2.114. So just a little bit bigger. My numbers could be a little off. I'm doing this kind of in a hurry. Just the last little checks, like kind of interesting things I'm noticing on these heads versus those heads. Also, another big thing to notice, these are open chamber. I mean, there's a little lip that goes in there, so it makes it where you have lower compression ratio. These are closed chamber, meaning they're going to have a little bit higher compression ratio. So absolutely don't skimp on the 91 on this after putting the heads on there. We have those Teflon coated head gaskets we'll be putting on. Before I do that, I already lacquer thinnered and cleaned the block side of the engine. That's all cleaned up and pretty. Now I got to clean this with some lacquer thinner, and then it'll be we'll put our head gasket in place and we'll be ready to get started. All of my hardware, I went through and cleaned it all with carburetor cleaner solvent, and yeah, that's all clean and ready to go. You want to get those boogers off. It could give you a false torque reading. We're going to do these one head at a time, and then after that, these new heads did not come with a rocker arm assembly, so the factory rocker arms are going to go on these heads. And 0 issues with the push rods. Perfectly straight, perfectly clean. They're still in order. Yeah, I am so ready. Let's clean this head, and we'll be ready to install. Got some lacquer thinner on a nice clean rag, just in case. You get every surface of that head on the head gasket side before you install it. Be very thorough about this part. Don't leave any scratches. I remember a story my old boss told me. He sent in a head, it was a nice Hemi head for 426 Hemi. The guy, he sent it out to the machine shop. He had a delivery boy. The machine shop brought it back, slammed it on the counter, and slid it over to him. He's like, "Here's your head." He's like, "I don't want that." He's like, "Why? You just destroyed the mating surface, you idiot. Take it back and do it again." Yeah, his boss is not too thrilled with him. So, yeah, be very careful with your mating surfaces here, as they are very, very critical when it comes to your cylinder heads. Definitely want to use some good ventilation when it comes to this stuff, let me tell you. If you don't, you're going to have a bad time. Okay, we got our head gasket. Everything looks nice and clean. Brand new out of the packaging. We're going to set this in place because there are 2 dowels at 3 and 9 o'clock to hold these and the intake in place. That seems to fit up perfectly. I mean, let's try it the other way, see if these holes up here line up a little bit better. Every other hole seems to be fabulous. Got these big holes for the intake here, but barely anything, these little slits here to line them up with. Let's see if this fits any better this way. It's exactly the same. I don't see a mark on these for top or bottom. They seem to be identical either way you go. So, I mean, there's a little scuff right here towards the outside. That wasn't for me, that was right out of the packaging. But other than that, I don't see any issues with these at all. I'm going to put the scuffed part towards the top of the engine instead of the back, just in case. And that should be our installation. And again, these are the same part number, left or right, doesn't matter. Our head surface looks nice and clean. I'm going to carefully grab this where I'm not touching that surface at all on anything. Very carefully come down here. This is a lot lighter than the other one, let me tell you. Got that one lined up. And that one's lined up. Perfect. That is a perfect fit on 440source.com. That is their stealth head. I'm going to start getting my bolts in place. They're cleaned, but remember, when you do these, you got to use assembly lube. This is the stuff I'm using. It's the ARP Ultra Torque. You want to put a little bit on your threads and washer or the head of your bolt so it's nice and smooth and you get that perfect torque coming down every time. Just like you're doing Loctite, and just a little bit at the bottom too. And that should be all you need. So just put a little bead there and that should be all you need. And I'm gonna start installing these right now. Get at least 2 started so nothing moves. So this head doesn't want to slide off on me. Okay, 2 things I'm seeing a problem with bolting these back on with the stock hardware. So I have the factory spark plug guide and the spark plug guards from the factory. Those are going to need to be snipped a little bit in order to clear the clearance on the head there. They're just not quite fitting. That's why they're not down yet. And also these middle bolts going down all the middle here. I can't get my regular 11/16 socket on there. It's a 12 point, so it's not really thick by any means, but yeah, these are recessed. I think these heads are more or less designed to work with some different hardware. They're not working so smoothly down the middle for the factory hardware. It appears that these could be a little bit better as well. The quick fix on this might be just to get some washers really quick on these. I might have to run to the hardware store to make this work. The outside doesn't seem to really be affected by it because they're you can see there's like a cutout for a washer, but it would probably benefit these to have a washer too. So if I can't find a thin wall socket on an 11/16 in my toolbox, I might have to run to the hardware store right now and get 34 washers, probably grade 8 with that size bolt. And yeah, let me see if I could find a washer really, or a thin walled socket to make it work. All right, this is the thinnest thin wall socket for an 11/16. It doesn't look promising, honestly. What I have in my box, it is 3/8 drive. Well, let's take a look, see if this will actually fit down in there between or not. I don't think so, not even close, really. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to back all of those out, and most likely the ones inside here as well. And I'm just gonna go get a bag of like 50 washers really quick, go to the store, and then yeah, come back to this. What a pain. Hi everyone. So we're gonna have to put a pin in this. I just went to every hardware store in town. They don't have the right kind of washers. That would have that. Why would I have to add to this unless they were walk washers, which I don't really want to use on this aluminum. They should be flat washers. Otherwise, they'll gouge them when you go to pull them out later. Anyways, yeah, we are going to put a pin in this for the week, and then we are going to order the hardware. 440 Source offers it. It's good for these heads and for the Edelbrock as well. They yeah, it's a different style of bolt head, and they're rated for much higher pressure, so it's just going to be a better way to go all the way around. Yeah, good thing I organized all those bolts, right? Funny. But yeah, so the problem is, see if I can turn this light on. See right here, there's just no room to get a socket around that thing. There's just not enough room in there. They're recessed in that little cutout. So unfortunately, we are gonna have to order different hardware to make that fit. Because right now, even these top ones, I only have enough room to grab maybe half the bolt head, and we're gonna be going up to 70 foot-pounds on these, and I don't feel like rounding these out. We're just gonna take our time and do it right and wait. Heads don't have to come off. I'm just gonna sit here, leave this alone, maybe put a plastic bag over the top of everything. Come back to this in a week when I get the right hardware in. Till next time, stay tuned.